Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video. This video is about 24 hours late, but Solstice got delayed late into the afternoon yesterday, and I had to go pick Noah up from daycare, so I couldn't play or really give my thoughts about it until now. It actually worked out because I've played a lot of Solstice since then, and have a probably better idea of sort of the general gist of it and kind of my thoughts on it. They are mixed, I would say. I'm not like a huge Destiny event person in general in terms of like all the things that I like from the game. Events are just sort of whatever for me. I do think it is important to acknowledge up front before I kind of go into any of this that these events, especially this event, is really crafted for free-to-play players. And as we know, free-to-play players don't have really a lot to do these days, so these events kind of are doors that open to, you know, here is every activity in the game as part of 24 challenges to grind out for a title or something, but it's pretty basic stuff. Maybe a little less basic and with a little more room for kind of doing a more diverse collection of things, but it is still kind of just a walkthrough of a lot of Destiny content. The activity itself, Solstice, the new bonfire, is really easy and pretty bare bones compared to. I mean, it's not like the previous version of this was all that hard, but there's no more running around to find chests and things. It's a little more straightforward. And then finally, the whole focus on armor focusing and stat rerolls. I would argue the process to do this is like very confusing, and I do not think would really land well among free-to-play kind of newer players. But it is like a good way to get pretty high stat armor pretty consistently once you can figure it out. It's not going to be. I've seen some people be like, "Well, why am I doing this when I could just be farming like Master Keitel?" It's like you could be farming Master Keitel, and your high stat artifice armor is going to be better from there. Master Keitel is a high-level, paid separately activity, so like, I would not expect this free activity to give out stuff that is that good. I do also like the whole UI UX system they've come up with this. They really have kind of leaned into events in a new way here with a new kind of event home screen that lays everything out, and then the tower decorations are very, I said they were kind of midsummer. That movie, that's one of my favorite horror movies ever. I'm really kind of getting those vibes from it. And I think they've done a good job kind of setting everything up and, you know, making like a home base for the event in a way we haven't really seen before. The event, like the content of the event itself, so what they've changed, this is what footage I'll be having, you know, running for however long this run took. It's not very long. The EAZ is now a bonfire lighting ceremony, essentially, where really simple. There's an enemy who shows up, you kill them, they drop an orb, you throw the orb at the fire. The fire pyre gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more these orbs you throw. The orbs are somewhat different than normal Destiny orbs because they don't have like this just straight arc. They can kind of like flutter like a snitch toward the bonfire, so you can throw them from pretty far away. And then you do that until there's an interruption, which is a bunch of Taken that show up somewhere on the map. These are in like slightly more inaccessible locations, but nothing like too crazy. Like previously we had like really, you know, everything was on the roof. This whole thing was about verticality and like jumping up and down the roofs. That has kind of gone away. You only have to really go on the roofs a scarce handful of times to take care of these Taken. And then they have, you may have noticed they've added all these different like floating platforms and little boosters and things that, at least, you know, a lot more of those than they had previously. So there's not really even just trying to figure out how to get up somewhere. They kind of spell it out for you. Once you do that, the max is 20 balls thrown at the fire, pretty much like a forge, and then you will spawn a big Taken boss. It is very easy. It is like primeval light. It does not take very much to bring it down. Just super it and throw some heavy stuff at it, and it is very dead. I would argue it's harder. What becomes harder is once there start being like yellow and yellow bar and majors that spawn with the igniter guys, which if you just get beamed by an ogre, like that can kill you if you're not paying attention. But other than that, it is not a very challenging activity. It's not very mechanically difficult. That said, like, just because it's different, I appreciate it, because I have just been running freaking normal EAZ for 3 years now with almost nothing ever changed about that. I do not miss the chest runs at the end, and like I memorizing the chest locations, and like that was fine, but like I am okay being done with that now. And then once you put everything in, you will get a bunch of rewards, which include the new weapon, and then the Compass Rose, which is the shotgun from last year, but the perks, the origin trait, which I'll talk about in a second. The rewards, the new gun is not good. It's just a Stasis 120 hand cannon that does not have very good perks. Nothing really that special about it. You can get a Feeding Frenzy Headstone one or a Wellspring Demo one, or it's just I don't know. There's nothing like super wild about it. What is wild is an origin trait that appears to be bugged, where it's supposed to operate where if you get a kill or an assisted kill, it can overflow your magazine once per magazine. The catch is that this also works if you switch weapons. So if you shoot something and then switch weapons and then your buddy kills that enemy, you now have 4 rockets in your Gallarhorn, or 16 slugs in your Fourth Horseman, or I don't even know if she photoshopped this. I don't think she did. Destiny the Meme posted 1,100 rounds in Sweet Business, I'm pretty sure. So that's bugged, and that's not going to stay. Maybe they'll leave it for this event, but that seems like something that is probably going to get patched, because that is definitely not intended, I don't think. That seems to be an oversight there. So that's fun, but, you know, nothing like... I would not, like, hardcore go after these weapons, because that's some broken perk now, because it is very clearly, obviously, going to be fixed at some point. The armor system itself is a little convoluted. Pretty much the long and short of it is there are 24 challenges. Each of those challenges completed gives you 1 kindling. It will take a total of 24 kindling to fully upgrade the 4 slots of gear that have stats: helmet, arms, chest, and legs, to have the maximum potential rolls under this new system. So once you get through 3 tiers of kindling at each of those, for 24 total across the whole set, you will not only get your white armor glow, but if you start sinking currency into drops of that, this silver ash that gets made when you play the bonfire activity, you can start focusing for things that are like at minimum plus 20 in a certain stat. So if you want plus 20 resilience, plus 20 recovery, whatever, you just put that on. This also works with your ghost mod. The ghost mods don't stack, so you can't get auto plus 30, but you can get plus 20 resilience and plus 10 recovery at minimum. I haven't seen any like truly nutty ones yet myself, and I haven't seen that many posted. I do wonder if there is like a hard cap on it. Like, I haven't seen really any above a 66, and the distributions don't seem to be maybe as intense as getting this armor from other sources like Dungeons or Iron Banner or something. I just haven't seen stuff that as is spiky, and I keep noticing that whatever I put plus 20 in, it usually is just 20. So even if plus 20 is a minimum, it will show up at just 20 pretty frequently, as opposed to like frequently giving you like perfect 30 rolls or something, which is a lot more rare. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just not something I've seen that often. So it seems to be an okay, good high stat farm, but I don't know if this is like the most busted way to farm high stat arbor ever or whatever. I think there might be some hidden caps in there that we don't know about. It's only day 2, so maybe I just haven't seen enough data yet, but we'll see. In terms of the grind, which is probably the last aspect of this, through all 24 challenges there, it was starting out looking okay, but the longer I've done it, the more I'm running into some very clear issues that culminate into one real issue, which is they got rid of the idea that if you completed a full set on one character, your next characters would have a multiplier. So if you did 1, it would be a 2x multiplier. If you had 2, your third character would be a 3x multiplier and take just a lot less time. Really, I don't see a reason to do alts unless I am just dying for that white glow. I'm probably going to get the colored glow packs anyway, so it doesn't even matter in the first place. And I I don't know if there's a real reason to do that. Like, if you are just absolutely dying to try and use this to farm high stat armor on your ults, sure, but I'm not going to run this full set of challenges 3 times because it includes some challenges like the worst one is definitely 25 Crucible or Gambit matches for a single challenge. There's no way to cheese that or take real shortcuts there. The shortcut is like playing Mayhem or throwing Gambit games, essentially, to get them done as soon as possible, but that's not fun. So I'm not going to do 75 of those on 3 characters. Like, there's just no way. Some of the other ones seem like they're taking a little long too. Like, I'm doing the Throne World Activities one, which I don't know how much like a Vial of Disciple raid would give you. That's probably a lot. But Wellspring, just doing a Wellspring run is only 10%. So you'd have to do 10 Wellspring runs. And so there's a couple of these that are pretty long. The ones that require actual bonfire stuff, not that bad. I think you can get all of the bonfire specific ones in, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 bonfires total, which is I don't think is bad. The problem one I'm running into is one that where you need to fight the different enemy races 2 times each, where I swear to God, I did 8 Hive in a row before I got a Fallen one, and now this is going to force me to just start it, see what race it is, and then quit, because I'm not just going to keep doing Hive ones or ones that I don't need. So that's where I'm at. The thing that I am going for is not really any of this. Like, the only thing I care about is the title. The title is Flamekeeper. It's a cool title. I don't even do titles that much anymore. I didn't do Iron Lord. I just don't care. But Flamekeeper is a cool title, and you could guild it pretty much instantly with 4 bonus challenges, which are pretty easy from what I've seen. So I'm probably going to do that. Don't really care about this being a high stat armor farm. I have a bunch of Masterwork sets already. Like, it does not that big of a deal to me. The new weapon is not very good, so I'm not trying to get God rolls of that. So I'm pretty much just going for the title, and then I'm piecing, and the white glows does not really seem like motivation enough to do all 3 characters. So I understand that this event is not really designed for me or people like me. It is a free-to-play event that is mostly just about, fun, colorful cosmetics and, a grand tour of all the activities in the game that you have to do a little bit of, or sometimes a lot of, in order to make progress here, while building in enough of a grind so these veteran players aren't done on, like, day 1, even though some of them are anyway, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a tough balance they have to strike between something that is new player friendly, useful for new players, but also not something that is going to totally be disengaging for veterans. My only real complaint is the multiplier thing. Like, if they do want us to run ults, I don't know why they wouldn't just keep the multiplier on. That was a good idea they had in the past. Doesn't seem like a reason to take it away. I guess a lot of the challenges, like, there are a good amount that are so kind of breezy that I don't even think you would need a ×3 multiplier at all. But for some of them, like the 25 matches one, that obviously really does. So those are my initial thoughts here. I don't know when I will, quote, finish this, probably in a couple days, depending on how things go. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm curious how people are taking this modified version of it. And yeah, I'm going to read some of the lore about this, some of the new material, like the Sparrow and or a ship or something, and then the hand cannon and some lore. So I'm going to check that out, see if there's anything in there. But Bife was roasting me because I just found out that the EAZ is levitated by Ikora herself, and apparently we knew that for like 4 years ago, but I missed it because I didn't read the lore back then. But I heard it now because they keep talking about it. So Ikora is vastly overpowered is the takeaway there. So anyway, wow, just swallowed the wrong way right at the end there. But thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.